So how do you think COVID, you mentioned COVID, how do you think COVID's changed our industry?
It's definitely changed where people want to live. And my degree is in sociology. And if you look back over time in history, people do this influx of rushing to the city, rushing out of the city, rushing into the city, rushing out of the city. And I think COVID pushed where people were rushing out of the city into the suburbs. So that's why there's this big push for the suburban house, is they don't want to be on top of each other anymore. Whereas, but if, like, I'm looking at condos and townhomes for someone who wants to purchase investment properties, they're sitting on the market still 90, 123 days. And they're listed right, but people aren't moving into the condos. They're moving into the suburbs.
Well, I think part of that has happened because people are working remotely and
They
not
need
working
more space.
Well, they need office space. There's some people that have decided now, well, I'm going to work at home, and it suits the companies because they can reduce their costs, their fixed costs. They're working at home. There is one of our clients that's actually moved from California, and they've moved to Austin, where we've helped them. We put them in contact with a great agent in Austin to buy a house. And the same house that they owned in California, in Silicon Valley, is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath for $1.5 million. They bought a house in Austin, which is on half an acre, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, with a pool and all the other stuff that goes with that. The fancy patio on the back, up-to-date subdivision, and for like $600,000. And they're working remotely, and they're still working for the same employee.
Right.
And that's why I think our industry is going to change. I really think our industry, we'll sort of save that for another video on how I think a real estate agent in 5 years' time is going to be completely different. And I think we'll still be selling homes for 3% or whatever it is that's negotiated. I mean, that 3% isn't a fixed price. Everybody thinks it's a fixed price, but it's completely negotiated. But the truth of the matter is, I really think there's going to be a different type of agent out there, successful agent, doing things. But we'll save that for another video. And demand itself on the property, we was talking yesterday. Do you feel it's area specific?
In some cases, yes. Like I said, the places in the townhomes and condos in the Galleria and Midtown and places like that, they're sitting there. Whereas places out in the suburbs, you've got Katy, Pearland, Manville, people even traveling down to Iowa Colony and Rocheron, where a couple of years ago people would be like, I'm not going to live out there.
Hey, that's when we moved out there. It's empty. It's cows out here.
They're moving out there because, like I said, they want more space. They may only come from a 2-bedroom townhome, but now they want 3-4 bedrooms plus an office because both people are working from home. So, like, my house now, we have an office downstairs and turned one of the bedrooms into an office as well.
There you go. That's up my point.
There's just 2 of us and 2 dogs, and I think they own the house, but that's another conversation.
The dogs always own the house. You like it or not.
You live with them.
Yes. But, I mean, I needed an office, he needed an office.
Absolutely, and that's I think the COVID has actually just speeded up the situation. That's what I was saying. It's just speeded it up, and a lot of people now, they are working remotely. I just think it's really pushed the envelope out, and I think people have been reluctant to do it pre-COVID, but they've sort of been forced to do it with COVID. They've been forced to sort of work from home, and I think as they've done that, the companies have realised the benefits.
Absolutely.
And that fear of people not being productive because they're working from home is kind of subsided.
That's exactly the point.
Because they are being productive.
Absolutely. And the people that have suffered, I think, is retail. It breaks my heart, to be perfectly honest, to see some of the companies that have been retail companies for years and years and, to see them close down.
Well, that kind of started like 2000.
So speaking of retail, I didn't mean to cut you off, Don, but do you remember the Houston Steakhouse around the corner? It's closed down. Some of these restaurants have been around forever. That Barry's Pizza that's around there closed down. They've been kind of like landmarks in Houston. They're just no longer here because of this
Dave & Buster's right next to our office.
Closed down.
I'll never forget taking Jack as a 3-year-old and playing for them tickets and thinking we'd won the jackpot because he's got this 6-foot teddy bear.
Right.
I mean, it was it's great memories that you've lost with that. And the other, I was talking to my wife the other day, and we're talking about Barry's Pizza. There you go.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my wife yesterday, and she says, I've got to go to Bank of America because her mother has an account at Bank of America, and she went to 2 Bank of Americas, and they've closed down.
Really?
Well, yeah, well, but that's one of the businesses they reckon is going online. You know, that they reckon that the banking industry is moving now to going online.
Now there is, just outside of my neighborhood, they built a shopping center, and in that shopping center is a Bank of America, but it's ATM only.
See?
Like there's no people there. If you want to talk to somebody, you can push a button on the ATM.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
And it used to be a full branch?
No.
Oh,
The shopping
okay.
center's brand new, and then it's Bank of
Gotcha.
America.
That's what I'm saying about it's really hit commercial. You know, I mean, on one of the podcasts, we'll get somebody from the Arden Group here who we lease from, real nice guy. They own 38 properties in Houston. And they were saying that, you know, their vacancy rate is actually pretty good. But I've got to tell you, their rents are very, very competitive.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And that's, I think, is making a difference. But there's a lot of changes in the industry. Jewelry stores are closing. Jewelry stores are going online. You know, banking's going online. I think it's such a shame to sort of see that. And I find it hard just from my generation, losing that personal contact, just like you said. I mean, you know, and that's the sad part with it all, because at times it loses that personal side of it.
I do think Gen Xers are going to lose that personal interaction.
Oh, let me tell you, it drives me nuts. I'm at home and my wife turns around.
We will.
And we turn around and we say, okay.
Or Gen Zers. Sorry, Gen Zers won't have any idea. Not Gen X, Gen Z. I know my alphabet, y'all, I swear.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's the Gen Zs.
Absolutely. But it drives me nuts when my daughter comes home from, you know, university, and then I say to my wife, go knock on Jill's door. And she says, okay. And then she ends up texting Jill, come out to the kitchen. It's like,
hey, sometimes, man, you just don't feel like walking to the other room. You know what I mean? I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty. My son's upstairs. He got his door closed or his music playing. I'm hitting the text.
I mean, my husband and I can be sitting next to each other and text each other something.
We do that as well.
I mean, we'll text each other TikTok or a reel instead of being like, hey, look at this.
Right. We'll do the same.
And instead of having a conversation, we're sitting there like, oh, look at this one. We're both looking at TikToks and reels.
That's where we live, right?
It happens. But, I mean, you have the generation of the, like my mother-in-law, she's in her mid-70s. She refuses to do things online, like 100% refuses. And there's things that she has to do online.
Thing with the Homeowners Association management that we manage. We took it over from basically a paper-based company, and either one or two things happens: they love us or they hate us, because we're predominantly based online, and they hate it. They hate it.
And quite frankly, if people really thought about it, the physical being able to handle a piece of paper is so much less secure than a digital copy. Because,
oh no, she disagrees.
Oh, you can lose
She disagrees.
Oh, I know she does.
Oh yeah.
I know she does. And we try to tell people that, listen, there's IP addresses that can be tracked. You know, there's so many things that can trace it back to. That's why you type in, oh, how do I build a bomb to kill blah blah blah. They're gonna find out who you are because you just can't say it. You put all that kind of stuff in your computer, they're gonna find you. So, but yeah, I know there's people that feel that way. They don't trust the computers. They're the devil. But you know, it's whatever.
But I mean, at the end of the day, we're still mammals. We still need have that herd mentality. It's just built and ingrained in us.
Right.
So even though we're going mostly online, there's still going to be times where people are going to say, hey, let's go grab a margarita, because they need that physical touch.
Yes.
Like you innately need
we do.
that physical touch.
We're meant to be in a commune with others.
Right.